And good afternoon, everybody. Sorry, quite slow today. Do apologise. Right. Anyway, it is Saturday, 17th of November, 2012, and here we are. We're back finally after 2 weeks. Here we are. Smallville has returned. Smallville, chapter 22, season 11. This is the beginning of the final 3 chapters for Detective, the Detective arc. The reason for the 2-week break was because obviously when the last set of comics came out 2 weeks ago was because it was end of October, and they normally release the print issues on the first week of every month. So clearly October was outlined on the Wednesday was the 29th. Well, 31st, sorry, 31st of October was when the comics came out, which was Wednesday, obviously. So the Smallville print didn't come out till the week after. I was actually quite scared because I almost thought that there was no formal announcement to say that the digital chapter's out, it's going to be out, this, that, and the other. So I thought it wasn't coming out yesterday. But Brian Miller did assure me that it did, and I looked on the website, and looked on the DC app, and it was there. So yeah. Anyway. So, here we are, as I say, the final 3. So, chapter 22, or in this case, Detective Part 10, as they've put it down as. And so we're back. This time we've now got Lex and Otis. Tess has reappeared again. Lex is actually having a very, very deep conversation with Tess. They go on about... let's have a look. She goes on about how he murdered her and everything, how she's in his mind, going on about their father's philosophy that Luthers are nothing if not survivors, all that sort of stuff. How Lex would have reacted if the roles were reversed. He's saying that he would have done a similar thing to what Tess is doing if she'd have killed him, kind of thing. But then he goes on about how her and Oliver and her and Emil Hamilton got it on, kind of thing. That sort of put him off in some sense, but then he's picking a bit more about her and Superman. That he has an idea that there's a connection between Tess and Superman, and maybe there's a bit more to it than she's leading on. So I think that might come into play in the next 2 chapters, hopefully. Anyway, I think Brian has already teased that at one point as well. So who knows? We're back on Leviathan, which is Batman's secret hideout boat, and Lois is standing there with Superman, who's just finally recovered from the injuries that he sustained in the previous chapter at the hands of Oswald Loomis, aka the Prankster, and also Victor Freeze, Mr. Freeze himself. So she's just double checking that he's okay. She finds out that Bruce Wayne is Batman. I thought that was quite funny. She seems to think that obviously Lois wants to write a story about what's happened in terms of Batman being in town and all that sort of stuff, whereas Superman is saying, well, you might want to hold back on that, please don't release the story just yet. And it's good to see the conversation between them again. It's back to what we remember and what we miss between Lois and Clark. So that's awesome. Where are we up to as well? So obviously now Lois knows Barbara Gordon is Nightwing, Batman is Bruce Wayne, all that sort of stuff. At the same time, Batman's been busy in the armory, and what he's been busy with, well, it's pretty much what the front cover portrays: the new suits for him and Superman. I'm guessing a lead-lined suit for Superman, and his against Freeze as well. So it's all that's what Batman's all about. That's what Bruce is all about. He's always thinking ahead, forward planning, preparing for certain things that could happen in the next line of battle and all that sort of stuff. Superman is obviously worried, or Clark in this case is worried, that Lex is going to find out that because of where he is, he reckons that's going to reveal Batman's hideout. But despite of where Superman is, because obviously with the radiation that Lex has laced him with, Bruce has assured Clark that Leviathan is, it says it here, is registered to a black book company in the Caribbean. Even if he finds you, he can't trace it back to me. So therefore, they pretty much he's covered. He's got everything covered. So then they decide to track down Freeze and Loomis. They use traces of obviously the kryptonite mineral and looking for concentrations of kryptonite they piggybacked onto, because Watchtower got onto Luthor's feed, the satellites that's monitoring Superman's position. They piggybacked onto that and looked for, pretty much kryptonite traces, and that's where they find out where Loomis and Freeze are hiding out, so to speak. So they get themselves ready. They've just got to quickly do a tidbit, because I saw a tweet from Brian about this earlier. Barbara brings in orange juice, freshly squeezed, for Clark, and then her and Lois have a little bit of a, some sort of tiff about Superman needing blood sugar, and then there's a bit again where Barbara and Lois are going on. Lois is asking Barbara, why do you keep doing that? Because all she does is just squeezes the orange out of the orange, squeezes the juice out of the orange with her bare hands. And Barbara's like, because eventually I'll get better at it. And Brian actually said that he wished he had included more in that, but they had to cut it down, and this was the final product. But who knows what that was going to entail, but he did say that there was a lot more involved in that than what we see in the comic book itself. Got to show you their new suits though. Have a look at that. How awesome. Awesome, isn't it? Brilliant. So that's looking really good. So they're pretty much ready to go into battle against Freeze and Loomis. We meet up with Oliver Queen. He's been arrested, being questioned. Chloe comes to his rescue and demands that the police should be chasing after Freeze and Loomis as opposed to Oliver, saying that he was aiding and abetting Batman, a fugitive who resisted arrest and all that sort of stuff. And she pretty much turns it over to say, well, imagine what would have happened if you did allow, it says here, let's not get into the fact that technically all the Green Arrow did was board your attack helicopter and help it land safely, yeah. And then when the detectives ask, who the hell are you, she goes, I'm his wife. well done, Chloe. Quite like that. That was pretty good. Then towards the back end, all I'm going to say is that, well, let's just say things don't appear to be turning out well for Barbara and Lois, and it looks like Batman and Superman will have their hands tied more than they expected between Freeze and Loomis. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that. But again, another solid chapter, very well done. 2 more to go. Be interesting to see exactly how this ends. So again, well done to everyone involved. Mr. Miller, keep at it. We're enjoying every single chapter that you're bringing out. Can't wait to see how it ends. And I think the next chapter, the next arc after that is called Haunted. It is Haunted, I believe, and that's where we see the return of a certain speedster. Bart Allen comes back to town, people. Hey! Anyway, that's all from me. Thank you all very much. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you all very soon.